Before leaving for her girls' trip, she blocked me and said I didn't need to know what she was doing. I stayed silent. But when she came back expecting me at the airport, she found divorce papers waiting instead and realized I was already gone. Original post. I, 31 male, had been with Amber, 29, for 7 years total. We got married 4 years ago in this beautiful ceremony at a vineyard upstate. Everything seemed normal until about 3 months ago when she started talking about taking a girls' trip to Miami with her friends from work. At first, I thought it was great. Amber worked long hours as a dental hygienist and barely had time for herself. A week in Miami with her girlfriends sounded like exactly what she needed. I encouraged it, told her to have fun, even offered to help pay for part of it since money had been tight. But the closer the trip got, the weirder she acted. She stopped showing me her phone. Like completely. She used to leave it lying around. We'd share funny videos, normal couple stuff. But suddenly she was taking it everywhere. Bathroom, kitchen, even carried it when she went to grab the mail. When I'd walk into a room, she'd flip it face down or angle the screen away. I asked her about it once. Just casually, hey, you've been really protective of your phone lately. She got defensive immediately. Said I was being paranoid and controlling, that she deserved privacy. Which, fair enough. But it wasn't about privacy. It was the sudden change that bothered me. 2 weeks before the trip, I came home from my shift at the fire station, and she was on the couch giggling at her phone. The moment she heard me come in, she stopped laughing and switched apps. I saw her do it. Just blatantly switch to something else. What's so funny? I asked, trying to keep it light. Nothing. Just work stuff. Work stuff doesn't usually make you giggle like a teenager, but okay. Then came the Thursday before her Friday departure. I was in the kitchen making dinner when she walked in with this weird energy. Nervous, maybe? Excited? I couldn't tell. So, I've been thinking, she started. For this trip, I really need a complete break. Like, from everything. Yeah, that's the point of vacation, I said, stirring pasta. No, I mean like, a break from checking in constantly. I don't want to feel obligated to text you every hour or send pictures or anything like that. I stopped stirring and looked at her. Okay, I wasn't expecting you to. Just, let me know you made it safely and you're alive. Normal stuff. She bit her lip. I'm going to block you on my phone for the week. I actually laughed because I thought she was joking. What? I'm serious. I need complete disconnection. No distractions. You don't need to know what I'm doing every second of the day. I'll unblock you when I land back home. The pasta water started boiling over. I turned off the stove, trying to process what she'd just said. You're going to block your husband? For a week? That seems extreme, Amber. It's not extreme. It's boundaries. My therapist says I need better boundaries. Amber had started seeing a therapist 2 months ago. I'd been supportive of it, thought it was healthy. Now I wondered what exactly they'd been talking about. Your therapist told you to block me? She said I need to prioritize my own needs and not feel guilty about it. There's a difference between prioritizing yourself and completely cutting off communication with your spouse for a week. She rolled her eyes. You're being dramatic. It's 7 days. You'll survive. And that was it. The conversation was over as far as she was concerned. She walked out of the kitchen, and I stood there feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. The next morning, Friday, she left for the airport at 5 a.m. I was awake, had gotten up to say goodbye. She gave me a quick kiss, said she loved me, and walked out the door with her suitcase. I checked my phone an hour later. She'd already blocked me. My texts were showing as not delivered. Calls went straight to a message saying the number was unavailable. I sat on our couch in complete silence for probably 20 minutes, just staring at my phone. Something was very, very wrong. I'm not usually the suspicious type. I'm a firefighter. I deal with emergencies, real problems. Relationship paranoia wasn't my thing. But my gut was screaming at me that this wasn't about boundaries or therapy or needing space. So I did something I'm not proud of. I checked our phone records online. We had a shared plan, both our numbers on the same account. I could see her call and text logs, not the content, just who she was contacting and when. What I found made my stomach drop. For the past 3 months, there was one number she'd been texting and calling constantly. Multiple times a day. Long calls, some lasting over an hour. The frequency had increased dramatically in the past few weeks. I didn't recognize the number. I sat there debating what to do. Part of me wanted to ignore it, give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was a girlfriend. Maybe it was work-related. Maybe I was overreacting. But blocking me? That wasn't normal. That wasn't okay. I called my brother, Jake. He's a cop, deals with messy situations for a living. If anyone could give me practical advice, it was him. She blocked you? He repeated after I explained everything. Before going on a trip? Man, that's sketchy. I know. You checked the phone records? Yeah. There's a number she's been in constant contact with. Run it. What? Run the number. Reverse lookup. It's easy. Takes 2 seconds. He talked me through it. I pulled up one of those reverse phone lookup sites, entered the number, paid the $5 for the full report. The name that came back was Connor Williams. Age 32. Lives in Miami. Miami. Where she was going. My hands started shaking. I dug deeper. Found his social media, public Instagram, Facebook, the works. Good-looking guy, worked in real estate, lots of photos of him at clubs and beaches. And there, if I scrolled back far enough, were photos from 2 years ago. Photos that included Amber. Not recent photos. Old ones, from before we were married. Group shots, parties, casual hangout pictures. I vaguely remembered her mentioning she'd lived in Miami briefly after college, before we met. She'd had friends there, a whole life there. Including, apparently, Connor. I went through every photo I could find. They'd definitely known each other. Seemed close, even. But she'd never mentioned him. Not once in 7 years. I called Jake back. It's an ex or an old friend from Miami. She's been talking to him for 3 months and didn't tell me. And she's going to Miami. Yeah. And she blocked you so you can't contact her while she's there. Yeah. Jake was quiet for a moment. What do you want to do? I don't know. Yes, you do. You just don't want to say it. He was right. I knew exactly what was happening. I just didn't want to believe it. I spent that entire Friday in a haze. Called in sick to work, which I never do. Sat in the apartment going through everything in my head, looking for an explanation that made sense, that didn't end with my wife cheating on me. I couldn't find one. By Saturday morning, I'd made my decision. I called a divorce attorney. Left a message since it was the weekend. She called me back Sunday morning, and we talked for over an hour. She was honest with me, said I didn't have concrete proof of infidelity, but the circumstances were suspicious enough that I should protect myself. Even if she's not physically cheating, the lawyer said, blocking you and having secret contact with someone from her past shows a serious breakdown in trust and communication. That's grounds enough. I filed Monday morning. Express filing. The lawyer said we could have papers ready by Wednesday. While I waited, I made other moves. I packed up my essentials, clothes, documents, laptop, anything I couldn't replace. Took them to Jake's place. He has a spare room. Said I could stay as long as I needed. I contacted our landlord. Our lease was month to month at this point. Gave notice that I was moving out. Amber's name wasn't on the lease. It was mine from before we got married, and we'd never updated it. The landlord was fine with me leaving. Said if Amber wanted to stay, she'd need to apply and sign her own lease. I transferred half the money from our joint savings into my personal account. Left her half alone. Didn't touch anything that was solely hers. I wasn't trying to screw her over. I just wasn't going to be stupid about this. Wednesday afternoon, the divorce papers arrived. Citing irreconcilable differences, requesting dissolution of marriage, division of assets. All very clean and legal. Thursday evening, I sat in the apartment one last time. My stuff was gone. The place looked empty, even though most of the furniture was still there. I thought about all the nights we'd spent here, making dinner together, watching movies, talking about the future. I didn't cry. I felt numb. Betrayed. Angry. But not sad, not yet. That would come later. I left the divorce papers on the kitchen counter with a note. You wanted space. Here's permanent space. Papers are self-explanatory. My lawyer will be in touch. Then I took my keys, left them next to the papers, and walked out. Amber was supposed to land Friday at 2 p.m. She'd told me before she left what flight she was on, expecting me to pick her up. I wasn't going to be there. Instead, I was at Jake's place when my phone rang at 2:47 p.m. Unknown number. I debated answering, then figured what the hell. Hello. What the hell is this? Amber's voice, shrill and panicked. Where are you? I'm at the airport. I'm not coming. What? Why not? Are you serious right now? I have luggage. Call an Uber. Why are you being like this? What's going on? I almost laughed. Check the apartment when you get there. What are you talking about? Have a safe ride home, Amber. I hung up. She called back immediately. I declined. She called again. Declined. Then the texts started coming through, long, frantic messages asking what was wrong, where I was, why I wasn't answering. I muted her number. According to the timeline Jake and I pieced together later, she got home around 4 p.m. Must have found the papers immediately because my lawyer got a hysterical call at 4:30. My lawyer called me. Your wife is very upset. I bet. She's denying everything. Says you're overreacting. Says she wants to talk. Tell her to have her own lawyer contact you. Already did. Amber tried calling from different numbers over the weekend. Friends' phones, her mom's phone, even blocked numbers. I didn't answer any of them. She showed up at the fire station during my Tuesday shift. The guys wouldn't let her in, said I'd already told them I didn't want visitors. I watched from the second-floor window as she stood in the parking lot crying, screaming my name. I felt nothing. The divorce took 4 months. She fought it at first, said we could go to counseling, that I was throwing away 7 years over nothing. But discovery is a beautiful thing in divorce proceedings. Phone records became official evidence. Timestamps, frequency, duration, all of it showing her constant contact with Connor in Miami. She couldn't explain it away. And Connor, bless his stupid heart, had posted photos from that week. Beach pictures, club pictures, restaurants. Several included Amber in the background or standing right next to him. Her girls' trip had apparently included a lot of one-on-one time with her ex. She finally admitted they'd reconnected on social media, that he'd invited her to visit, that she'd caught feelings again and wanted to explore them. Said she'd been confused, didn't know what she wanted, thought the trip would help her figure it out. The trip where she blocked her husband and lied about who she'd be with. She claimed they hadn't slept together. Maybe that was true. Honestly, I didn't care anymore. The emotional betrayal was enough. The divorce was finalized last month. Clean split of assets, no kids to complicate things, both of us walking away relatively unscathed financially. I'm living in a new place now, closer to the station. Started dating again, nothing serious. Taking things slow, rebuilding trust in my own judgment. Amber, from what I've heard through mutual friends, moved to Miami 3 weeks after the divorce finalized. Guess she got her wish. Connor apparently wasn't interested in anything serious though. Last I heard, she was living with roommates and working at a different dental office, single and miserable. I don't feel bad for her. You don't get to block your spouse, sneak around with an ex, and then act shocked when there are consequences. You don't get to prioritize boundaries over basic decency and honesty, then cry victim when your marriage falls apart. She made her choices. She wanted freedom, wanted to explore her feelings, wanted me out of the way for a week so she could play house with some guy from her past. I just made sure she got exactly what she asked for. Permanent freedom from me. Best decision I ever made was leaving those papers on the counter and walking away. She wanted space. She got infinite space. And I got my self-respect back.